You ever wonder what's up there?
The LMG film original story starts way back when it was just me and a few of my friends creating little tiny videos on the old videotapes. It all started from the credits of a video, and I found this song, and it was called Edge of Faith, and it's from this game called Mirror's Edge, which is all about parkour, and I immediately fell in love with the game. And it was the biggest thing on YouTube for 2008. And so when I saw this, I immediately thought we have to make our own video. So the first video I ever posted was me and my friend / cousin running around, doing parkour stuff in one of my favorite abandoned places close by. The next really big one was Our Bromance. It's a song by Ryan Higa. It was the first music video I ever did. I then just kind of worked on my editing for a while on stuff like Until the End, and just really learned how to create moods.
You can't stop remembering the things you should forget.
I would also, just have fun as I go along, creating little music videos or little action or whatever we were doing at the time. Nothing too complicated, nothing too planned.
Will never be the same. I'm glad you came.
The next big one was our hydraulic fracturing video. It was a 8th grade year school project, and it was a documentary that we spent a few months on, and I think that's what kind of got me into this.
Related to fracturing rock in the subsurface.
I then at that point got a GoPro and started filming snowboarding and wakeboarding, pretty much any of the action things I used to do. I'd stitch it together. I learned how to do slow motion, and that's how I really started getting into the action type stuff, and still learning different editing like slow motion and things like that. Yeah, well, I'd also film school videos when we went on trips. I think the first story I really told was called House Lockdown. And it was something that I used kind of effects in. It was a gun kind of fight, a bit of a story. Some parts of it went well, some parts of it didn't. Some parts I still like today, some parts I still laugh at today. But I think that was another really big point. And just to let you know, every video you see, for every 3 on this video, there's about 8 others that I haven't shown, or, just kind of repeat the same few things. I think at that time I made this symbol, and eventually, much later on, it grew into just the symbol and some different shading things, and I just kind of created that LMG brand around then, which made me make this the YouTube trailer, because I was really kind of trying to make the LMG or Lucky McGinger at the time brand really pop. Which came actually from my Xbox Live name, and ever since I've used it for everything. The biggest project I think it was really major marker was called Drop in the Ocean. It was the music video, which I did for a school project. The first year I had a film class, which even though I was above, I still really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of people recognize me for this one. So I think that was a huge point of like, wow, this is something I can really do. I'd also work on our high school's basketball and our high school's football, just for fun, sometimes for pump-up videos.
One opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted.
I also got a glide cam and filmed outdoors and filmed indoors. This was the first time I was really learning how to use the glide cam outside. So it's a little bit shaky, but pretty good for the first time. The next biggest thing I ever made was the social anxiety spoken word. This was another school project that I kind of completely created, and I think to this day it's the number one thing I have on my YouTube channel that has the most views. And there's certain parts of it that got criticized, such as the way I talk in it. But, you know, I still love it, and there's certain things in it that I really messed up, some of the editing. But it was hard to go back and fix some of those things. So then I made this intro for my videos, and I used that for quite a while. I also worked on some Christmas music videos for another school project. And I think that was a lot more fun, just learning, you know, how to do certain type of editings, and keying things and colors and stuff like that.
So I'll spend my Christmas with you and my folks I know. I'ma be under the mistletoe. Word on the streets.
Hey, turn up that beat though, Brett. Man, all these rappers be like, I wanna...
The next really big one was called The Better Man. And this was the first time I ever got to use After Effects. And I put together kind of a superhero trailer for a movie. And it was sort of about bullying, even though that's not what I intended it to be, or just didn't have in mind, but that is the idea I was kind of going for. But so progressively as it goes along, I kept learning different things and things. So it's not perfect, but I think it got recognized pretty well, and that was another big part of the graphics that I fell in love with. The next thing was the first thing I've ever submitted to any film submission, which was called I'm Okay. And at the same time, it was called I'm Okay because the words okay is in the middle of broken, and it would flash broken. It was alright. It was a first kind of interrogation scene. I spent a lot of time on it, and I think it went alright. It could have gone better. Could have been a little bit more clear, but for the first one, I think it was pretty good.
Keep running. Even though I hate it, I know as soon as I stop treading water, I'll just go under.
I worked on the project called Home, and I never really finished it. I posted it, and just kind of asked people what they thought I should continue doing with it. But I really liked just working on this project. It was stemmed from another idea with the same kind of idea. In it, there was some, behind the scenes stuff, such as from the house lockdown that I put in there.
Oh, you should be here soon? If we don't get kicked out, I mean, it's good luck.
I also got to work on behind the scenes video. I actually made and created and edited the whole thing, and it was for a movie short with John Ondo. And the behind the scenes looked really good. And it was about, I think we filmed for 1.5 days, and then I edited. At that time, I learned about DACC and started my junior year there, which is like a career/film school, which is where I have most of my time right now to work on things. That summer, though, before I went out to California in this great camp called Socapa, and we made 2 different films in 2 weeks, and people would help you do the sound and different stuff. But the first one I wrote was a Luminaire film, because we all had to do Luminaires. So it's one shot, and it kind of told a voiced-over story, and I think it went really well. I think it turned out much better than I expected, and there was other things that could have been a little bit better. So here's a picture. I used to take a picture every day, and I posted it there. So here's just a bunch of different pictures. And I absolutely love my time there. I'd also take 1 second of video a day, and so this is just a segment from that week. The second project I worked on was called Midnight Summer. And this is one of the films that when I worked on, it was actually kind of the ones that really stumbled and fall. Because you have to learn from the mistakes, and this was definitely one. But it was a good thing. I realized I was trying to tell too much in too little time with not enough angles and different stuff. So then I kind of remade some of the Until the End of the Line. It's kind of from the Until the End. But basically it was just a bunch of video that I was taking from that trip and a little bit extra that I produced. And just kind of wanted to do a voiceover talking about myself, and the time I had there. And I think I really like it because I kind of have an emotional attachment to it.
I won't ever see again.
Camera rolling?
Scene 3, take 2.
The next one I worked on was Lethal Cure, and this was at DACC my junior year. It was kind of the same thing of The Better Man, was trying to do with effects, but a little bit more darker and edgy. And I didn't spend a lot of time on this, so some of the effects look alright, and some of it could have been a lot better. I also worked on music videos there, such as I'll Pay For You by Skizzy Mars. I also worked on DSLR 101, which was just me kind of explaining the general breakdown of how cameras work and how you should use them.
You should always keep the ISO lower because the higher the ISO, the more digital noise will show up, making it look awful.
The next really big one was 2nd Street, which was a BPA project where we were given a topic and we had to create a film. So we did kind of a short film. Some of it went alright, and we never went over it when we should have with other people to kind of see what they think, see things we missed. So the project went alright. And that was a big project for film. I'd also worked on Skills USA, which even when we were given the wrong topic, the judges weren't there, and a lot of other things that could have gone wrong did, we still did really well. We got 2nd place. If the topic wasn't changed, I pretty much guarantee you we would have gotten first if they followed the disqualifications. But we had about 4 hours to do all of it. The next one was Delco Waters. This was one we did for Delco. And at first it was just for the company to kind of showcase what they have, what they do. And then I ended up submitting it for the Valley Emmys, which is a few states around here. And it won 1st place in the commercial. So we did get a student Emmy for that in the Valley, which was pretty impressive. And that kind of brings us to current day. I can't show you too much, but I will show you this one sneak peek.
It's so secret, they just call it the Division. Which, I have to say, seems appropriate. I mean, I don't know what good it's supposed to do. It certainly didn't save us when the green poison hit. The only thing is making us